Hey, welcome to Keight Krafts. I'm Keight. Today I would like to share with you a thank you card featuring Lawn Fawn's Happy Harvest. Let's get started. So here I am taking the largest of the outside in stitched rectangle dies, and I've cut a panel to fit on to an A2 size card. So I think this is like 4 by 5 1/4, I think it is. I think that's what that cuts it down to. Anyway, I'm taking the scarecrow and the wagon with the pumpkins in it from the Happy Harvest, and I'm inking it out with some Ink on 3 blackout ink because I'm going to do some Copic coloring. So once I'm happy with the impression, we are going to color this guy up. So starting off, I am just going to use two, I ended up using 3. But I started out with 2 of the blues, so I've got the Persian blue, the B39, and then I'll go in with the B37, Antwerp, I think it's called. It's such a strange word. I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure what it means. Do you know what it means? I don't know what it means. It's just a strange word. So I think I don't need another color, but then I thought, this is a little bit dark, so I come in with the B34, which I believe is the Magnesian? I don't know. They've got some strange names to them. Anyway, I'm going in with this blue, the B34, just to kind of brighten that up a little bit. And then I think, I might be done with these colors, but then I think again and think, well, I could probably use them for the hat, because I hadn't really planned out what colors I was going to use with the card. I was just kind of inspired to do a 1-layer card with a little bit of, I guess stamp masking. I'll end up cutting out some masks of the scarecrow and the pumpkin wagon with some full stick post-its and cut it out and whatnot. But for now, I'm just going to show you how I colored these in. Again, going in with the 3 of the combination here. And I kind of like that blue. I know my one friend, I think it was Jessica Squirrel, who said that this combination was really good for denim. And I didn't really have anything for denim, like to color with, to color for, to color on. And I remember that little tidbit of information that she had mentioned, that these were a good denim color, and she was not wrong. So thank you for the combination, Jessica. I appreciate it. So here for the wagon and the shirt and the little band on the scarecrow hat, I am going in with some R39, R29, and R24. And I think I need a new R29 marker. I mean, I've tried to re-ink this, and I did. And then I tried to change the tip on it, and then I added more re-inker to it, and I think I just got a bad marker. It just started to go not too long ago, so I don't know if it's just the seal on the cap, or if I've got to, lay these down with the nose down so that all the ink drains, or I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with the re-inkers. All I know is that I'm not excited about this marker, so that's why I brought in that R24, just to kind of cover up the little faux pas of marker that I'm not sure what to do with. So I don't know, maybe you know what to do with them in the comments below. Let me know. Not too sure what to do with the Copics, as I've only had them for roughly about a year, and from what I'm told, the older Copic markers have lasted much longer than just a year, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, but I'm really liking the Copics, so I stick with them despite. And here, because I'm not sure what color to do straw, because I'm really not sure what color straw is exactly, and I wasn't sure exactly what colors to use because I don't have very many yellows, I went with those. And for the most part, I thought they turned out alright. I mean, he does look a little jaundiced, but it's a scarecrow, and I assume scarecrows are kind of yellow, so here we are going in with a combination of YR07, YR68, and YR04. And I found this combination to be really nice. I had gotten some pumpkin stamps from Yornik Stamp, I think it was, and it was like my first set of pumpkins, and I got really excited about coloring them and found that I really like this combination for doing pumpkins. I don't know if I like how they translate over to the partial pumpkins, like you'll see here, but I think for the full-size pumpkins, like maybe if I had a full-size pumpkin set for Lawn Fawn, I might like it a little better. But again, this was actually my first time coloring these stamps, so I wasn't exactly sure which avenue I wanted to travel down, and this is kind of what I ended up getting. So here I've got the G99, which is another new marker to me that I kind of really like, and I ended up going back in to do the little post that's holding up the scarecrow, and thought it was rather nice. I do like this. It's almost like an army green. I'd kind of like to get more of the army green colors as well. So again, back and forth with just the red and the green for the wagon, and I've already gone ahead and stamped and trimmed out all of my my masks that I'll be using for the 1-layer card. I just found that I had like little bits right here I needed to get out, and you know, having fat fingers just doesn't necessarily do the job, so you need your reverse tweezers to kind of get them out, and then you end up using your fingers and think, don't tear it, please don't tear it. So if you have a really sharp pair of scissors, usually they work, but in my case they really didn't, so I had to go back in because I was being a little picky. I wanted to make sure that everything was covered and there were no white spots, because this was actually, I don't know if this is my first real big background ink blending scene that I've ever done. I mean, I've done 1-layer cards before, but I don't think they were ever this involved with masking and getting everything down right, because I wanted everything to be perfect, so I fiddle with it until I'm satisfied with it. And then once I'm satisfied with it, I pull in some Lucky Clover and some Rustic Wilderness, and I have I think it's the Grassy Border stencil, I think this one is. I'm not 100% sure. I know I got it recently, and this is, I think, the second time using it. And this stencil, from what I recall, actually works with the Grassy Border die. So if you cut that and you need to be precise about ink blending with the cutout, this actually lines up to it all, which I thought was kind of neat. So once I am happy with the placement of that, I will go over the grass there with the stencil, and then we'll do the sunset. So I've got some squeezed lemonade that I'll go in. Well, I don't know, maybe this is more of a sunrise. Maybe my friend's on the farm, you know, going to do her farmly duties, and she sees the scarecrow, and she sees the wagon of pumpkins, because it's fall, and pumpkins are cute, and I love pumpkins. And the sun's coming up, so she could see the yellows and the right persimmon color, the orange. I love it when the sky looks like this in the morning. Sometimes in the morning, if I find that I have a minute before all the employees come in and I've got the shop all set up and ready for the day, I'll stand outside the bay door and watch the sunrise a little bit. And some of the colors that you get in the fall are just incredible. And I kind of like to think that, you know, where she's at geographically, she sees the same kind of sunrise as me, even though she's an hour or so behind. So it's probably still dark when I get to watch it, and she's got to wait a little bit longer to watch it. But anyway, you get my point. So once I've gone in with the Seedless Preserve, and I'm happy with the blend and going back and forth, I will go back in, back and forth until I'm happy. And then we're going to bring in some iridescent watercolors in the gold. And I thought about using the pearlescent ones, but I wasn't 100% sure. And I decided, you know what, this will be nice because this shifts. It's not as bright as the other ones, but it does shift in the light, so you catch it, and it's really subtle and really pretty. And I love how it turned out on the Distress Oxide background. So I'll set that off aside to dry, and I need a sentiment for the front of the card. So I'm taking this scrap piece of 110-pound cardstock, and I've got the thank you tags die, and I'm going to put on "You're the best" and "Thank you," and then I'll end up grabbing the little heart from the the Happy Harvest set as well. So once I'm happy with that and decide I need to fill in that little area right there, that's where I decide that I'm going to grab the heart and put it on there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. So once I've pulled it out and placed it and fiddled around with it a little bit more, because let's face it, these are kind of sticky, even to your fingers. So sometimes you get the placement just right, and then they end up sticking to your finger and you end up wrecking it. And then you have to start all over again. But once you get it right, and you're able to get it where you need it to be, and you close the door and pick it back up, then you got the perfect placement. And I think that's what I like about these silicone or photopolymer stamps, I think they're called. So once I've stamped that out twice and I'm happy with the stamping, I will go ahead and take the 4-bar card. I believe this is the small set of the 4-bar card and the smallest rectangle of the 4-bar card. And I'll cut a piece of low-tack tape to hold it in place to ensure that I get a proper cut and that it's not askew. And I'll tape it up, run that through the die press, and pop that out. And I have my sentiment for the front of the card. So once I'm happy with all of that, I will grab my panel die here, or my panel, sorry, and we'll do a little bit of the peel and reveal. And I love this. I love how nice this turned out with the ink blended background, and you've got the contrast to the Copic coloring, and I just think it's delicious. I just absolutely love how this looks, and I'm so pleased that I was able to actually try it, and you know, being that this is the first one that I've done. So once I'm happy with that, I will take the sentiment, add some tape runner and a little bit of glue. Then I'll add my reverse tweezers into the mix, and I'll flip this around so I can line it up a little bit better into that corner, because I want to be able to tuck it in there evenly and have it all look nicey. And once I'm happy with that, I will pull in my little R24 marker, and then I will add in, I believe, some Wink of Stella. Now I could have gone in with a white jelly roll pen, but I didn't want to add too much light marks to my character here, because the sunrise is in the background, and maybe this little Wink of Stella is, you know, maybe a little bit of morning dew on them. Instead of seeing the white, I thought, you know, maybe some morning dew might do. Morning dew might do. It might do. It do. Sorry. I'm sleepy. Can't you tell? So once I'm happy with the amount of sparkle that I've got going on here, I will come in with my black glazed jelly roll pen. Yeah, my black glazed pen. And I will fiddle with it because it's a little crusty on the end and the ink's not flowing properly as I would like it. But I end up darkening up those eyes a couple of times just to make sure that they get the glaze. So you see me fiddling with it. I don't know how to keep them from not getting crusty. I don't know. I try to clean off the ends after every time I use them, but I don't know if it's the ink leaking out or what it is. I don't know. Maybe you know. Let me know in the comments if you know how to make the glaze pens not so crusty. Or maybe it's just the black. I've only got a few of the glazed pens. I think I've got like the clear and the black, maybe a blue and a yellow, but I don't use them that often. I end up going for like the clear or the black more than the yellow or the blue. So there's that. You can kind of see the morning dew, and once I've put that on a card base, there's my finished card. I really hope my friend likes the surprise! So if you've enjoyed today's content or found it helpful, please give this video a like. I also welcome you to subscribe, as I post weekly. Here's another video I think you might enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.